Thank you. Good evening. 1, 2, 2. What's that sound? Is that the fan?
Yes.
Maybe we should make it a little... JJ, can you come in a minute, please? What's that sound? JJ, can you do something about that fan? What's that noise? Can you turn it off?
Yes.
Thank you. And maybe give me a bit more on the monitor, please, JJ. Thanks.
Okay.
Is it making the room hot or cold? So JJ's sitting at the back there doing the sound tonight. And if I sound good tonight, it's me, and if I sound bad, it's him. In 1959, there was a 13-year-old kid standing on the beach at Brighton, watching the jazz bands play on Sunday afternoons. They were known as the Beatniks, and they used to come down from Brighton. And it was during the summer, on a fish market by the Esplanade. And, between sets, a guy with a guitar used to come out and play a couple of songs, finger picking style, that kind of style. This 13-year-old kid knew at that time that's what he wanted to do for the rest of his life. And this is a song written by that 13-year-old kid, something like 40 years later, called Brighton Beach. Young girl, so pretty, young boy, not a hair on his face, looking out at the big wide world. This was their time, this was their place. He said, one day I will make you mine, we'll be together till the end of time. Brighton Beach in 1959. Young woman, flowers in her hair, young man plays a mean guitar. So cosmic, but this is the 60s, everything is far out, way too far. Revolution is in the air, everyone is stoned, they don't care, 'cause it's New York in 1969. Everybody changes as time goes by, but we can make it if we try. Another city, bright lights, winning streak, you're hitting the heights. Another face you want to get to know, everybody says it's the way to go. Maybe you came on just a little too strong, maybe you played too hard and it all went wrong, 'cause it was London town in 1979. Change partners, change of scene, kids get stuck somewhere in between. No problem, we slow. There's not much more you need to know. Looking back on the times you've had, hang on to the good, forget the bad. And take one last look down memory lane. It's good to be starting over again on Brighton Beach in 1999. Brighton Beach, 1999. I realise now it's 2009. I wrote that song in Paris, so I guess I've got to go back to Paris to write the 2009 verse. A lot of people take photographs and all I see is this, so I just... Don't forget the earring. Following on from that is, I guess I can give a little advertisement for a couple of films that have been made about me. One's a concert film and one's a documentary film, which we filmed in Paris and Amsterdam and Brussels and various parts of Germany and Brighton Beach, of course. And after I left Brighton and went on the road as a travelling musician and troubadour, I went to London first, but then really the place to go was New York, especially in New York, Greenwich Village in Manhattan, because that's where all the clubs were and where one had to go to play. And so I was signed to a major company at the time, United Artists, so it's kind of easy to play a lot of these places. And the Village in the late 60s and early 70s was just a wonderful place to hang out. A lot was happening. The gay revolution took place in 72 on Christopher Street in the Village. Hence the word the Queens were coming out. We have a fond word for gays called Queens, and coming out means to declare one's gayness, if you like. So it was the first time New York had seen guys walking down the streets in dresses and stuff. It was a good time. And then there was all that was happening in the music clubs, which was fantastic too. Gertie's Folk City, Bitter End, Bottom Line, Max's Kansas City. And so I had a really good time. I lived there for a while, and I had a really good time. So when it came time to make this film, I had to write the script, and most of it was not that difficult, except the New York section, which I had problems because I couldn't remember exactly what I did then. Because there was a lot of stuff going around, if you know what I mean. And this, they say you can't remember it, but it's true. I can't remember much, or I couldn't. And until I found a photograph of me with my son, who was 18 months old at the time, in 72, or about this high anyway. There's a photograph of us walking along the boardwalk in Long Beach, Long Island, where we lived, and I used to drive into the city every night. But I used to come back late, sometimes as daylight was coming up, and to try to get some goodie points with my wife, I'd take my little boy out to walk so she could sleep for a while. It's a great photograph. He's kind of hanging on like this in his arms because he just learned to walk, you know. And I looked at this photograph for hours with a glass of wine, and all the memories started to come back. And this song came out in about half an hour or so. And it talks about those times in New York. And the things that were going on, like the Vietnam War was on at the time. And there was also a strange week, which is kind of blurred in a haze, of when I was asked by my publisher to look after Bob Marley and the Wailers for a week. And it's kind of, I say, blurred in a haze, because They smoked joints the size of trumpets. If you're within 10 meters, you're stoned. But it was a fun week with them, I have to say. And Bob Marley was an absolute gentleman, a lovely guy. So it's all in the song. And the chorus, it has a chorus if you want to join with me. The chorus says, I'm in a long line of lovers who came to New York looking for the muse. I found her waiting tables on Bleecker Street to pay for her dancing shoes. Reference to my 40 years of life on the road falling in love with waitresses. Long Beach, early in the morning, I'm walking the boardwalk by the sea. I'm with my little boy, he's not sleeping too well. My little boy is a lot like me. And I came home late from the city. I was in the village having fun. All the queens were coming out on Christopher Street, and a new age had begun. And I made a long line of lovers who came to New York looking for the news. I found her waiting tables on Bleecker Street to pay for her dancing shoes. I played the Gaslamp and Gertie's folk city, the bitter end and the occasional bar. I played the game of money and fame, 'cause everybody wants to be a star. And I had my share of intoxication. I did a few drugs and drank too much Uncle Jack. But I stopped in time when I saw the signs, and I knew I had to get back. And I made a long line of lovers who came to New York looking for the news. I found her waiting tables on Bleecker Street to pay for her dancing shoes. And the Vietnam War was still raging. They were singing protest songs in Washington Square. Too many guys just never came home, 'cause not enough people cared. And those who made it back were looking lost and confused. Was it a victory or a tactical retreat? Either way, it left a wound in America's heart to see them sleeping out on the street. And I made a long line of lovers who came to New York looking for the news. I found her waiting tables on Bleecker Street to pay for her dancing shoes. I spent a few days with the rest of Bob Marley. I was told to keep him straight and true. But as I recall, we were flying so high as we walked down 7th Avenue. And we saw Springsteen play at Max's Kansas City. And when Marley played there, every seat was sold. Marley died too young, Bruce became the boss, and I just followed the road. I made a long line of lovers who came to New York looking for the news. I found her waiting tables on Liquor Street to pay for her dancing shoes. 30 years later, I'm thinking I'm still here, some of my friends are gone. My little boy is grown, he's got a son of his own. Everybody's got to do their own song. I came back to Long Beach and I'm looking out at the sea. I'm standing in a warm summer haze. I can see those times like I'm in a picture show. New York in the 70s. And I made a long line of lovers who came to New York looking for the news. I found her waiting tables on Liquor Street to pay for her dancing shoes. Long Beach, early in the morning, I'm walking the boardwalk by the sea. I'm with my little boy, he's not swimming too well. My little boy is a lot like me. My little boy is a lot like me. That track is on the new album, which is here it's called Leaving at Dawn. And for some reason, the record company didn't like that last song. And they said they'll never believe you about the verses about Bob Marley and that. So I recorded it without the verses of Bob Marley, and I wish I hadn't done now. I wish I hadn't listened to them, because it is true. So I think I'll put it on YouTube. And I'm currently writing the new songbook, so I put it in there. The record company didn't like it. Actually, I did travel through the States while I lived there, and I certainly wrote a couple of songs I would not have written had I stayed living in England. And this is one of them. This is called The Veteran, and it's about was inspired by a Vietnam vet that I got to know in Norfolk, Virginia. I was playing a club called the Red Mule, and this guy Lenny was the organizer of the gig, and he was an interesting guy. In those days, you didn't play one night as you played like a week or 2 weeks in the same venue, which was good because it gave you a chance to get to know the area and to get to know a few people. And so Lenny and I got to know each other reasonably well. I think I learned more about him than he did about me, because by the end of the night, when the people had gone, he was usually well stoned by this time. He always smoked a joint. Strange enough, I didn't, especially if I'm doing a gig. Which was kind of strange because he held his joint in his right hand. His right side of his body was badly crippled from the war, the Vietnam War, and so he couldn't raise his hand higher than there. So if you were walking down the street with him, he'd be dragging his leg and bobbing up a pigeon, you know, and laughing. I once asked him why he didn't put his joint in his left hand, and he said, "No, that's my gun." And he pulled out this gun. Jesus. And I said, "Lenny." He said, "Oh, don't worry, it ain't loaded. I just like to scare people." We had some good times, and I remember one night he said, "I think it's time for a little harvesting, Allan, tonight." Harvesting. So we jumped in the car. I was driving, he couldn't drive. And we're driving this forest track. And it's a full moon, it looks great. And then the track becomes a smaller track and a smaller track. We're going through the forest. And I'm thinking, where the hell is he taking me? He said, "Stop the car here." We stopped the car and we walked a little way. And then right in the middle of the forest, there was an area of land about this big, with the most beautiful marijuana crop. And it was all in neat rows, right in the middle of the forest. I don't remember getting home that night. But there was the other side of Lenny, which was a very sad side. He had a tough time coming back and fitting back into normal society. Something I suspect a lot of young lads are doing now from the Iraq conflict and Afghanistan, going through exactly the same thing. So this is dedicated not only to dear Lenny, but all those other unfortunate chaps coming home. Saw the echo of 1,000 wars in the face of the man as he looks out over the watching crowd, searching for a friend. Sometimes you can see a face, but then each face looks the same, like looking into a mirror, reading a different name. Different name. He learned his lessons early, a confirmation under fire. Now his eyes stare into the distance, like a prisoner behind the wire. We are lucky in our fortune, we can't turn the other way. But the veteran fights again at night, struggles through the day, through the day. When you sing, do you sing for the man who's broken? Do you sing for the man who stands alone? For the endless list of names etched in marble stone, etched in marble stone. He came back an addict, came back a drunk, he came back a cripple, all pieces in a trunk. He came back a hero to a waving flag parade. He was left with nothing when the glory began to fade, began to fade. So what do you say to the veteran? Can't take it anymore. You guard your words and you hold it back and talk of anything but the war. Just reach out over the distance and let him know you're there, and hope he hasn't gone too far or forgotten how to care, how to care. When you sing, do you sing for the man who's broken? Do you sing for the man who stands alone? Do you sing for the endless list of names etched in marble stone, etched in marble stone? JJ, can I have a bit more of everything in the monitor, please? Yeah. Oh, that's great. Thank you. I'll sing you another one off the new album, and this one is the title track called "Leaving at Dawn." I guess dawn is the first light of the morning, and it's symptomatic, I think, of our, that is, musicians, traveling troubadours' lifestyles, is that generally we leave at dawn. It's usually when we get thrown out. God damn, he's been sitting in my kitchen all night playing the guitar. I haven't slept a wink. Go! It normally happens. I wrote so many songs through the night in people's houses. Sounds nice. Okay. Best ones. How dare you walk out in the middle of it? I'll start again. If anyone moves, I'm going to kill them. I'll be leaving at dawn, when the light hits the sea, when you shake in the sleep from your innocent eyes. Don't come looking for me. It's a good time to go. I'll be leaving no sign. We played out the scene, and the lies in between, and the journey's mine. Some things must pass and come to an end. Sometimes you know you just have to let go and until it comes round again. Maybe sometime from out of the blue, when you've made up your mind to leave it behind, it comes looking for you. So dear, you even bought me a star, a diamond so fine it could sparkle and shine. I could see from afar. When the road was too long and the journey too far, when I thought I would break, 'cause it was too much to take, I'd hang on to that star. Some things must pass to come to an end. Sometimes you know you just have to let it go until it comes around again. Maybe sometime when you've made up your mind to leave it behind, it comes looking for you. I'll be leaving at dawn, when the light hits the sea, when you've shaken the sleep from your innocent eyes. Don't come looking for me. When you've shaken the sleep from your innocent eyes, don't come looking for me. Well, I left America to come and live back in Europe. I realized how much that I loved America, and I married at that time into an American family. It wasn't my culture. I wanted to get back and start traveling through Europe to see what that would give me. And so I had that fascination. I still do have the fascination with the great chanson singers like Jacques Brel and Edith Piaf, and I wanted to see what that was like, to try to get some of that atmosphere in the songs. And a pivotal point came in my career, pivotal meaning that there was that one moment in my life when I knew my life had changed. I guess we all have that time in our lives. Sometimes it's falling in love or having a child or whatever. For me, it was sitting in a red light bar in Brussels at 3 o'clock in the morning. Maybe not as sweet and romantic as having a newborn son, but nevertheless very important to me, because it was at that moment that I realized, as I started writing a few lines on the back of a menu card, that I would find all of the songs from the stories I would hear and see in bars and cafes throughout the world. The bar acts as a kind of microcosm of the society in which it's placed. And so rather than going to big fancy exhibitions and that, I find just sitting in the bar for a few hours gives you a taste of the local people. And so this song is called Win or Lose, and it's dedicated to those crazy and wonderful and sad and happy and strange people that one finds in a red light bar at 3 o'clock in the morning in downtown Brussels. In fact, we went back there and filmed. It's now a very chic restaurant. Was, and it's just the last few months closed, but so in this bar were, of course, the lonely people, the ones who sit in the corner by themselves, just drinking steadily, I guess, because they've got nothing to go home to. There's the crazy guy who sits next to you and tells you his life story, and then you have to buy him a drink. And the ladies of the night that come in for a cup of coffee or whatever. All wonderful people. There's a bar in Brussels and it looks the same. There's a bar in Paris with a different name. It reminds me of a bar in Amsterdam, and they all look the same. There's always a Joe behind the bar who'll take your money and pass the jar. He's no great friend, but it's better by far than drinking on your own. Win or lose, what's it matter to you? Everybody's doing what they have to do. Like it or not, you're part of it too, and you're a long way from home. Being everybody's friend, says he knew you sometime, way back when. So you buy him a drink and he'll try it again, and you'll see him every night. Way back in the corner there's a lonely guy, says he's dying for sure, he's living a lie. Maybe tomorrow he'll give it another try. Gotta make it through the night. Make it through the night. Win or lose, what's it matter to you? Everybody's doing what they have to do. Like it or not, you're part of it too, and you're a long way from home. The lady who stops, gives you a smile, says she likes your music, says she likes your style. Maybe she'll let you stop and stay a while, and pass the night away. But there's always a morning after the night, when your eyes won't open and your throat is tight, when everything's wrong and nothing's right, and you don't know what to say. You don't know what to say. Win or lose, what's it matter to you? Everybody's doing what they have to do. Like it or not, you're part of it too, and you're a long way from home. I'll do this last one and then we'll have the pausa. Just giving you a fair warning. A little bit more voice in the monitor, please, JJ. Thank you. In a way, this one is following on. They all, I guess these all are following on one after the other. This one is called Running on Dreams. And it comes from that the philosophy, if you like, of being a traveling troubadour, and that is that you will never survive if the dream is not strong enough. And every musician I know, I have some good friends, musicians. Hans Tasing, his wife is here tonight, Melissa, who helped to arrange this. So, and Hans, I know the dream is so strong, it keeps you going through the bad times. Fortunately, there aren't many these days, but in those early days when you don't have any money and you're sleeping on floors and driving a beaten up old car, and if you break down in the car on an autobahn in the middle of Germany, say, like in the days before mobile phones, and you had no money, and what's you going to do? But if the dream is really strong, you will survive. And that's what this song is about, called Running on Dreams. With a line that comes at the end of every verse, which is supposed to signify, when I wrote it, they're saying just kind of be cool, take it easy. Whatever happens, you're going to deal with it, so it's okay. The line is, take it down easy, take it down slow. Some people have misread that a little bit. But whatever it means to you, it doesn't bother me. I mean, if it really does mean that to you, just look into your true love's eyes, who might be sitting next to you, and say in your deepest, sexiest voice, take it down easy. Take it down slow. And send me an email, tell me if it worked or not.
I have an email list prepared.
Strike up the fiddle and tune your guitar. There's one more song for a faded star. The night is waiting, the lights are burning low. Take it down easy, take it down slow. You made it look easy when the going was tough. You sailed through the storm and you smoothed out the rough. And the scars of the road are all that's left to show. Take it down easy, take it down slow. Rolling the dice, watching them spin. Every time you lose, you gotta spin them again. Stay in the game and go with the flow. Take it down easy, take it down slow. You could have done better and there's things you regret. You could have been a contender, you were worth the bet. But it's not for the winning that you play the show. And take it down easy, take it down slow. Running on dreams, you got no time to stay. Time rolls on and it slips away. Nothing to do and there's no place left to go. And take it down easy, take star. The night is waiting, the lights are burning low. Take it down easy, take it down slow. Take it down easy, take it down slow. I was here in Vienna. It was last year for Hans Theesing's birthday bash.
We were here too.
Was it a great year?
Yeah.
Well, it's now just about to be released on a double CD. I don't know how many songs. There must be quite a lot of songs on it anyway. And it's called Hans Theesing's Birthday Bash. And if you see Melissa, she's got a few of the covers. CD's not ready yet, but you can have a look at the cover. And this song is on the CD. And it's called Back Home to You. It has a real easy chorus, which I think I'm going to ask you to sing on this one. Don't be embarrassed, it's okay, we're all friends now. I usually wait for the second set, you know. First set, everyone's a little bit nervous. I'm usually a bit nervous, but now it's, we've gone too far down the road to change. And the chorus is, and I've got to get back home to you, sweet love. I've got to get back home to you. And you, and you, and you. And I've got to get back home to you, sweet love. I've got to get back home to you. The rain is beating hard and cold on my window pane. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm awake again. I know the phone won't ring at this time of day. Even if it did, I wouldn't know what to say. And I've got to get back home to you, sweet love. I've got to get back home to you. When the music played so sweet, we were dancing in time. I tripped over my 2 left feet and I stepped out of line. When I came to my senses, I looked around and you were gone. The dance floor was empty, I was dancing alone. And I've got to get back home to you, sweet love. I've got to get back home to you. Going by a black guitar, I wanna play the blues. Or get a snakeskin jacket, pair of alligator shoes. I'll maybe try a slide guitar, I just love the sound it makes. When it comes down to the wire, I'll do anything it takes. And I've got to get back home to you, sweet love. tokens of a moment's love you don't need anymore. It's got to be fundamental. I know you want it straight and true. I'll give you all I've got, 'cause I owe it all to you. I've got to get back home to you, sweet love. I've got to get back home to you. And I've got to get back home to you, sweet love. I've got to get back home. I just got to get back home. I've got to get back home to you. Well, friend Jacqueline down there, she said, I love coming to your gigs, she said, it always makes me cry. That was one of those ones, wasn't it? I talked earlier about the fact that I knew that I would find a lot of my stories and songs in cafes and bars, and I'll sing a few of them now that came from just sitting around watching the world go by. And what is remarkable that I always find in situations like that, how many people talk to me. I guess it's because I travel alone now, and I'm not a big guy, so I'm not intimidating at all. I'm just sitting there and people start talking. I put myself in a situation where sometimes they're unusual. For example, if I'm in the Caribbean, I'll deliberately go into the blank areas and just walk into a bar and see what happens. I never have any problems. And this one is called Los Compañeros, which means comrades. Los Compañeros, comrades, a song from a lovely conversation I had with one of the old revolutionary fighters. Once we were bold compañeros, running guns from the Florida Keys, and on the beach at Santiago de Cuba, we were fighting with Fidel and Che. Now you see them in old Havana, playing cards and smoking cigars, and they're polishing chromium fenders on their big old Yankee cars. Manuel sits in La Casa de Rosa, watching the girls. He whistles at the beautiful Maria, and she smiles and tosses her curls. And the bartender strums his guitar, and the rhythm plays out in the street. And Maria moves with a passion as her body sways in the heat. And the old guys are smiling with pleasure. For a moment they're young and they're strong, and the young girls are giving them flowers as they sing their victory song. One swing of bold compañeros, running guns from the Florida Keys, on the beach at Santiago, Cuba. We were fighting with Fidel and Che. Now he talks of the great revolution in words of sadness and pride, and the medals he wears are the scars that he bears, and he drinks for the friends who died. We were farmers, we were poets, we were hungry. All we wanted was our own piece of land. We were fighting for our wives and children, and freedom for every man. One swing of old compañeros, running guns from the Florida Keys, on the beach at Santiago, Cuba. We were fighting with Fidel and Che. Now the Yankees, they come for the fishing, and their pockets are loaded with green. $10 will buy you a woman or a tank of gasoline. And the young kids are leaving the island, and the old guys have nothing to say. Manuel is living on dreams of the past, and tonight he'll drink it away. One swing of old compañeros, running guns from the Florida Keys, on the beach at Santiago, Cuba. We were fighting with Fidel and Che. Santiago, Cuba, they were fighting with Fidel and Che. The next song came from such a situation of being in the bar. This time it wasn't from someone who was talking to me, someone I was watching, and I imagined the scenario that would follow. I don't know what followed, but this is how I imagined it, and it came from watching a woman in a bar. It was it's kind of a rough bar. I tend to go to the downtown ones as opposed to the chic ones. And this woman was obviously waiting for someone because she kept on looking at her watch, and she was smoking heavy and drinking heavy, and she looked a bit ragged around the edges, and just kind of waiting and going off the side of the table as you do. But there was something about her that was really special, and I found it fascinating, and I couldn't stop watching her. And then the door crashed open, and this guy walked through, again looking a bit rough. And he'd been drinking too, and his hair was kind of greasy, his overcoat was tatty, and he saw her from across the room, and she looked up and she saw him. And at that moment he was the most handsome man in the room, and she was the most beautiful woman. And he walked towards her in a big flourish. "Leave it, my dear." They sat down and they sort of looked into each other's eyes and lit each other's cigarettes. I don't know, it was just very beautiful. And so I imagined what would happen when they went home, how they would try to make it special for each other in these straitened circumstances. And so this is called Urban Love Song. It's one of the old ones. This is for Christine. And what about the glasses? A lot of my songs are written to the sound of glasses chinking, so it's lies there sleeping, her hair's in a mess. She's got cheap red wine on the front of her dress. I suppose in a way I love her no less. We've all got our own way of loving, I guess. We're two of a kind, we get by that way. Neither is waiting for the other to say, "I love you, I need you." Maybe it's true, it goes without saying, it gets us through. So I'll come to you once again tonight. I always look better when you turn out the light. Pretend that I'm special, romantic and true, and I'll write you a poem, and I'll give it to you. Pretend that I'm Byron, Shelley or Keats, who plays with words and subtle deceits. Pretend that I'm Romeo, troubled in love, and gives you his heart in a golden glove. This is my town, this is my place. I've got midnight bars written over my face. I got 1,000,000 miles staring out of my eyes. I can play with the truth, but I can't tell you lies. Oh, it's hard and it's cruel, but it happens to be true. I haven't that much to give to you, but whatever I've got, you can take it for free. Whatever you've got, that's enough for me. Cheap side of town is a place far away where we'll never be found, where the cry of the seagull and the sound of the sea come together to make a sweet symphony. Instead of this town that's covered in grime, with neon rainbows beating out time, where the streets are slick with winter rain, and there's no way out to start over again. This is my town, this is my place. I've got midnight bars written over my face. I got a million miles staring out of my eyes. I can play with the truth, but I can't tell you lies. Oh, it's hard and it's cruel, but it happens to be true. I haven't that much to give to you, but whatever I've got, you can take it for free. Whatever you've got, that's enough for me. All right, yeah. I think I'll do another old song. This one's called Chimes at Midnight. Because that is a Chimes at Midnight is a phrase from Shakespeare. Henry IV, Part 2. And my attitude, if you're going to steal something, steal it from the best. Chimes at Midnight, yeah. Chimes, I guess most of your English seems to be very good. Chimes is when the bells crash together, we call that the chimes of the bells. And the phrase chimes at midnight, like a lot of Shakespeare's phrases, means more than it just does literally. The underlying text is that we've heard, we in the play, and we as travelling troubadours have heard far too many chimes at midnight. Meaning we've spent the night past the midnight hour and never going to bed at the proper time. Is there a proper time? Of course not. And talking of chimes, if you hear, actually if you're in Switzerland, it's every bloody 15 minutes, isn't it? I remember once doing a gig in, where was it, Chur, and the hotel was between 3 churches. And each clock was out by 15 seconds. So when midnight came, all hell broke loose. I thought it was an invasion or something. Jeez, that's so crazy. I mean, who wants to know what time it is at 3:15 in the morning, for example? Only a Swiss person would want to know that. Bless him. I think no, I won't do So this was written in a hotel room. It's another favourite place of mine to write songs is hotel rooms. I love them. Bigger the better. And the most empty as well. I don't like a lot of furniture. I like very minimal design. And this was in a place called Essen, which is in the Ruhrgebiet of Germany. Not a very nice place, I have to say. No one here from Essen, is there?
Essen is the last thing in the world.
Okay, no, it's not a very nice place. But if you live there, it might well be, I don't know. Right, fingers a bit. Shit. city through my window pane. The streets are shining in the falling rain. Taxis cruise the late night bars, watching the taillights of going home cars, watching the taillights of going home cars. TV shut down and the radio plays old-time music from younger days. Phone up a DJ, ask him to play a tune. One of 1,000 in love with the moon. One of 1,000 in love with the moon. Count down the miles and you run out of time. Chimes at midnight that blurred in the wine. The melody rolls into one long song, round and round, on and on, round and round, on and on again. Wasn't it good when the music played, when the people sang to the songs you made? Wasn't it good? Didn't it make you smile? Made you feel so good for a little while? Feel so good for a little while. So you're thinking it over through the night, watching the morning coming on light. No regrets, no cause to complain. You know you do it all over again. You know you do it all over again. Count down the miles and you run out of time. Chimes at midnight that blurred in the wine. The melody rolls into one long song, round and round, on and on, round and round, on and on again. Oh, it's really great tonight. I'm really enjoying it. JJ, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. In fact, JJ, you can put a bit more reverb on the guitar for this one. It's the play with it if you want. It's the fun to play. This is possibly the most expensive song I've written in a bar. This one was in Bermuda. There are certain places in the world that I really like writing songs. Unfortunately, they're usually expensive places to get to. Although I did write the fourth verse of Some Dreams in Klosterneuburg. In a wonderful cafe there. Yeah, Gerald, remember the name of that cafe?
Epicure.
Epicure, that's it, yeah. This one's called Frenchtown. They're just two old lovers trying to make it again, just like it used to be way back when. Somehow he loved her, but it all went wrong. They just ran out of time. They couldn't wait that long. And the atmosphere, if you can imagine that wonderful moment at night, in the evening when the heat rises off the land and it brings all the smell of the beautiful flowers in the Caribbean, the sweet coconut smell of the French planet, and the sound of the tree frogs, millions of them making such a noise. You think, I'll never sleep through this. Then you have 2 or 3 glasses of rum punch, and somehow you do. And during that dark, you hear that tap, 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 and it's the old blind guy coming home from the bar and he's banging his stick against the railings. Sad song of Frenchtown, harmony and rain. A blind man walks the street, silver canes beating out time. A saxophone plays a haunting tune. Magnolia blossom, heavy perfume. He stands by the window, looking out at the street. A dark-skinned lady lies in his bed, restless in the heat. She smiles in her sleep, quietly sighs. She's hanging on to promises and to lovers' lies. They're just two old lovers trying to make it again, just like it used to be way back when. Somehow he loved her, but it all went wrong. They just ran out of time. They couldn't wait that long. They couldn't wait that long. Turns from the window, watches her asleep. Same loving feeling, old love runs deep. The shadows are fading, the sun is starting to rise. He lies beside her and kisses her eyes. They're just two old lovers trying to make it again, just like it used to be way back when. Somehow he loved her, but it all went wrong. They just ran out of time. They couldn't wait that long. They couldn't wait that long. 'Cause it's a sad song of French town, harmony and rhyme. Blind man walks the street, silver cane is beating out time. The saxophone plays a haunting tune. Magnolia blossom, heavy perfume. Well, in a sense, we've come back to where we started. I'm going to finish on this one. This is a song called Kerouac's Dream. We go back to that image of that young kid who was me at 13 standing on the beach watching the jazz bands. Go forward 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years, and in my back pocket I would have had the paperback edition of Jack Kerouac's book On the Road, which was an amazing book. It's still in print. Jack Kerouac was a great American poet and novelist known as the King of the Beats, and it was that artistic period called the Beat period that came just before the whole hippie thing. And there was it broke a lot of rules, like I guess every new artistic movement has to do. But I think what it had going for it was it knew what the rules were before it broke them. So you had great painters, like Pollock, who could actually paint in standard form before he invented his old drip thing. And the great jazz players, they'd studied classical music. Some of the poets and novelists, they'd studied great literature before they broke the rules. And when you're a 16-year-old kid, anarchy is just exactly what you need. So Kerouac became one of my heroes. And that book was just amazing. I read the book again about 40 years later, and it reads kind of tame now for me, but it reminded me of what an influence it was. So, and also the way I'd lived my life, and that's what Kerouac had lived his. He went out to look for the stories on the roads that became his poems and his novels, and I did exactly the same thing. Never realized it until I reread the book. It's a beautiful dream with a sad refrain. You go all the way there and come back again. But it's what you do and it's what you learn, and it's how the scene plays out with every turn. share a wet dream, a poet's dream. You said the poem comes from where you've been. It's in an ocean, a trick of fate. It's in taking to the road when the road can't wait. You're meant to live. You want everything in life there is to give. It's a beautiful dream with a sad refrain. You go all the way, come back again. It's what you do, it's what you learn. It's how the scene plays out with every turn. They say you burn when you fly too high. Better to burn than never try. Maybe you'll fall, maybe you'll fly. Maybe you'll rise above it all and touch the sky. You may get it right, you may get it wrong, but you'll do what you do just to get along. 'Cause the lesson I learned is a favor owed, and it's payback time when you're on the road. It's a beautiful dream with a sad refrain. You go all the way, come back again. It's what you do, it's what you learn, and it's how the scene plays out every turn. It's how the scene plays out with every turn. It's how the scene plays out with every turn. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Would especially like to thank Melissa tonight, who worked so hard to make this into a really enjoyable event for me. Thank you very much, Melissa. It's been great to come back. It seems like I'm coming back to Austria every year now. It's great. There was a time when it was like 2 or 3 years or so, but so maybe we can do this again next year. As it's, sing you a brand new song. Everyone needs this odd for Katerina. That's for you tonight. Okay. Everyone needs to have a song sung for them once in a while. So. And it's called "I'm Going Home." Maybe not for another couple of weeks, but I will be. It's got a real easy chorus you can sing with me. That's the first time I realized I got a little pocket there. That's for, oh, I won't say what that's for then. The chorus to this one says, "I'm going home, I'm going home. My bags are packed and stored. As my luggage has all been put away. My bags are packed and stored. It's time to climb on board. The train, the plane, the boat. Because I'm going home. I'm going home, I'm going home. Bags are packed and stored. It's time to climb on board." This one won't make you cry, Jacqueline, I promise you. I'm going home. I'm going home. My bags are packed and stored. It's time to climb on board. 'Cause I'm going home. Good try. I'm going home. I'm going home. My bags are packed and stored, and it's time to climb on board. 'Cause I'm going home. Kiss me goodbye. Kiss me goodbye. I know you're gonna miss me, so take this chance and kiss me. Kiss me goodbye. Darling, won't you think of me? Darling, won't you think of me? When you're all alone at night, remember how I used to hold you tight. So darling, won't you think of me? Going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. My bags are packed and stored, and it's time to climb on board. 'Cause I'm going home. Wipe that tear from your eye. Wipe that tear from your eye. I know you're gonna grieve, but everybody has to leave. So wipe that tear from your eye. Hang my my picture on your wall. Hang my picture on your wall, so someday you can say he passed along my way. When you hang my picture on your wall, going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. My bags are packed and stored, and it's time to climb on board, 'cause I'm going home. Our road has been hard and long. My road has been hard and long, but I'll sing this traveling song as the highway calls me on, 'cause my road has been hard and long. Hear my voice on the wind, hear my voice on the wind. Some haunting melody bringing memories of me. When you hear my voice on the wind, by yourself now. My bags are packed and stored, and it's time to climb on board, 'cause I'm going home, 'cause I'm going home. Thank you very much. You're working on it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, now you ask. Too late for that one. The dog.
Beat Hotel.
Sorry?
Beat Hotel.
Oh, nice, that's enough.
Creole girl.
Creole girl.
Land of the Rosewood.
Why do you always ask me to dinner?
You're the best.
Creole girl then.
C major.
Yeah. Get a free guitar lesson here and I'll figure out what I'm doing. Well, the first song I sang in tonight was called Brighton Beach. And this song was written within 3 days of writing that song. I went to Paris to deliberately just to write some songs. And checked into a hotel in the Bastille area, found by a very good friend of mine called Mark Robin, who died 2 or 3 years ago, a great musician and a great writer. And so what I would do was I'd wander the streets at night, go out for dinner maybe 8 or 9, and then stay away from the wine. And then after I'd walk the streets and go from bar to bar, cafe to cafe, and just drinking coffee and just to see what would happen, visiting some places I vaguely remembered. And then go back to the hotel about 3 or 4 in the morning and start writing. And so this was the first song that came, called Creole Girl. Brighton Beach was the second. And the Creole, as you most probably know, is a person of mixed race from Louisiana, which used to be French, and so a lot of them came back to France, very beautiful people, to work as exotic dancers and whatever. Journey of memories, journey to bring back the time, those days of a wild abandon, when a young man was in his prime. Call it a hopeless fancy, trying to capture some long lost dreams, when you fell for the dark-eyed Creole girl who came from New Orleans. Taking the Latin Quarter in search for a familiar name. Paris has changed since you left her. Nothing much looks the same. Fifi's Cafe is now a strip club with the amazing dancing queens, but not one can compare with the Creole girl who came from New Orleans. sometimes it's best to move on. Just for the sake of a memory, I'll take a drink for the days long gone. So I went into the Café Chanson, watched a world full of tobacco-stained screens, and I thought of the dark-eyed Creole girl who came from New Orleans. Bonsoir, monsieur, said the waitress. What can I get for you? I said, excuse me for asking this question. You remind me of someone I knew. She left as if I was crazy. This young girl just out of her teens, but she looked like the dark-eyed Creole girl who came from New Orleans. So I stayed till the bar had emptied. We shared a bottle of wine. I said, I'm just trying to capture a memory of love in a different time. She said, maybe you think of my mother. We look so much alike, it seems. She was known as the dark-eyed Creole girl who came from New Orleans. How I loved the dark-eyed Creole girl who came from New Orleans.
Thank you very much. See you next year. We say in English,
Don't you have any home to go to?
And then you have to come back next Tuesday to Vienna. Yeah?
okay, well,
Yeah. Well, yeah, thanks for night, though. And JJ, thanks, man. Done a good job. Sorry I'm keeping you late. Okay, I'll play you one off the new album. This would be a nice way to send you home. Please. That's only because of course I got to drive back because I'm staying with Melissa tonight, and so I'm looking forward to getting a glass of wine when we get back, because if I take one before, or more than one, so that glass of wine is sort of calling me. So I'll get on with this one. This is called, what's it called? It's called Lay Soft on Your Pillow, that's it. I don't think you would have heard this, quite new, something new album. Lay soft on your pillow tonight, for the morning will come too soon. Watching the shadows fade into light, we will bid farewell to the moon. And while you are sleeping, my love, I will watch over you. Flickering eyes show your innermost dreams, when love comes to us and you. Though I may be some distance away, in truth we are as one. And you will be with me by night and by day, and forever when all is done. The night is too short, my love, and the road is too long to know. I will carry this memory of you to the places I must go. And when the swallow returns with the spring, and the meadows are flowered in bloom, I will return to see you again, and the place that I call home. Though I may be some distance away, in truth we are as one. You will be with me by night and by day, and forever when all is done. Lay soft on your pillow tonight, for the morning will come too soon. Watching the